Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Dennis from Barista Workout and I'm here with Dr. Goodbody, aka Dr. G from the Bartendaz. We're here in Fredrikstad in Norway, where he just held a seminar for all the people who were interested in the topic. And he's one of those people of Bartendaz that maybe not everyone knows because he's not every time in the videos showing off, but someone that you can really learn a lot from. And so I'll just give you the word, Dr. G. Please introduce yourself and tell people
Appreciate that.
what made you the person that you are today.
First, I want to say peace to the world. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. G. The G stands for good body. The G stands for genius. The G stands for Dr. G Tai Chi, also aka Professor Pyramid. And basically what I do is I provide the scientific link for bartenders' natural movement system. It is a science, it is a system. A lot of times people are confused because they see the videos on YouTube and they think that it's just people doing tricks. So my job is to explain how and why it's a system. So this is a system created by Hassan Yassin, aka Giant, the founder, people know him as the Bar Father, and I'm the one who's been given the task of putting it into words.
Nice. How did you get connected with the Bartendaz? What made you join the team?
About 9 years ago, I met Giant at Mount Morris Park. And my Aunt Frances, so I had to salute her, she was doing a show in the park. Every year she did a show for Martin Luther King's anniversary. Her college roommate was Coretta Scott King. So she's always interacting with the community. This particular year, she did an event. Hassan and some of the bartenders were performing at the show. When I saw what he was doing, I was like, that's the same thing I've been seeing in my mind. Somebody using their body in a way, all natural movements, and just using the body in a way to where it was basically art. And I said, wow. So after he finished, I went up to him, I said, brother, I can explain every move you're doing, why you're doing it, what muscle it works, how it works, and the benefit of it. And he said, no, you can't, that's incredible. So I said, you were doing this, I ran the list down. He said, what about this person? I said, he was doing this. So he was impressed with my ability to share that information. He said, do you want to be part of the family? And that was 9 years ago. And since then, this movement has gone all over the world 3 times.
Okay. So 9 years ago, when you were able to explain all those moves and how it worked, where did you have that information from?
Independent research.
Okay.
A lot of people forget that the library is a beautiful source to get information. Bookstores, Barnes & Noble's on 14th Street in Manhattan, beautiful source to get information. It's a particular Barnes & Noble's where it's where all the college and medical students go. I used to go there and read books until they used to kick me out and say, excuse me, sir, you can't read all the books for free, you got to buy the book. But it gave me a great opportunity to create a smorgasbord of knowledge.
Very interesting. You said before that where you used to live and where you were, education was not very high valued. Why do you think is that so, and what do you think is what you're doing now, how is that changing this?
I think that because of media images and because of stereotypes that are placed on certain inner city areas, that people don't think that information is cool. It's something big that I think that Bill Gates said one time. He said, you should be nice to nerds because one day they might be your boss. So my thing was being able to take information that I read in books and still make it apply to my everyday living situation. So that's what kind of made it cool. And since the bartender's explosion, we proved that it's cool to think. Remember, before bartenders, it's giant thinking. So giant thinking is the key to get you into bartenders. So by me being able to break down the language and put it in layman's terms or simple terms, it shows people that you can be from the so-called hood, but still be intelligent. So it's shifting the paradigm of what people think is possible.
That is very great work.
Appreciate that.
So what is the system about? What can people learn from it, and how can people learn from it, especially if they don't live around the park on 145th?
Right. Well, that's what this seminar was about today. It was a seminar for the Academy of Personal Trainers. So these are people who are health professionals who go out into the world and teach other people how to move. What we do in New York City, we give seminars, we teach in classrooms, we teach in public schools, we teach at mosques, we teach at churches, we teach all over the world about this system. So what you see on YouTube with the moves is just the tip of the iceberg. That's only like 10%. It's a whole other 90% that goes on in the community that we don't always put up on YouTube. You see?
Yeah.
So that's how people can learn. You can always contact us via our website, and we'll come out and do a seminar, which is a two-part thing. It's a giant thinking program, and then it's the bartender side. So we call those edutainment shows, where we teach you and empower you through entertainment, empowerment, and exercise.
Okay, nice. A lot of people see videos, and especially young kids, and it's great because what kids see, that's what they do. So when they see someone working out, they start doing it themselves. But a lot of people see those fancy tricks and fancy moves and just have that as a goal.
Right.
So they see some jump, twist, flip, and saying that I have to try this,
right,
and able to in a way to be able to do it. What can you say to people who are starting, in bodyweight training and advanced bodyweight training, or see these moves? What's the best way to approach this in order to be successful and be safe? Because that's a big issue.
That's a key. That's actually part of our motto. Do no harm. First, do no harm. And to give you the long version of the answer, part of Giant's genius was to put moves on the YouTube that would attract people. But what we didn't put on YouTube was the steps to get to those moves. That was done purposely. So in reality, those fancy moves are not tricks. Those fancy moves are progressions or combinations of basic moves. If you can, think about it as writing. When you first learn to write, you have to learn your ABCs. The ABCs makes a word. The word makes a sentence. The sentence makes a paragraph. The paragraph creates a chapter. The chapter makes a book. The book tells a story. Bartendaz gives you the story of indigenous natural movement. So a child should start, or any beginner should start, with mastering the basics. We have 7 basic moves in our system that start. Pull-up, push-up, dip, squat, lunge, jump, and plank. These 7 basic moves you will find in any movement system across the globe, from yoga to Tai Chi to Qigong to Pilates. These are natural moves that we purposely picked out and said, once you get these moves and start to combine them in different ways, your body will improve. So that's the key, focusing on basics. And then when you get that, learn the basics, learning the basic posture of each movement, learning the hand positions of each movement, learning how to breathe as you do each movement. So the advanced movements are to get you excited about the possibilities, but then you have to go through the steps and put the work in to do that safely in a progressive manner.
Yep, that's true. Nice. Okay. Do you have any DVDs as instructionals for people who do not live in New York and maybe don't have the chance to visit seminars or something?
That's another great question. For a long time, we purposely didn't put out certain levels of instructionals, and we did that for 2 reasons. One was to weed out the imitators from the originators. And 2 was to continue to perfect. The system is dynamic, it's not static. So because of that, we're now actually in the process of putting out a series of instructional videos that'll take a person from point A to point Z. So those things are coming. Those instructional videos are coming.
Okay. All right. So everyone who can't go to New York at the moment, has to wait.
Right. Or you can have us come to your town. Or we'll come to your town.
Oh, this way.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe briefly, what are some important tips that, you know, being that you're exposed to the bar community in New York, which is huge, and, you know, being that you travel, you've been to Madrid too, and you see different countries, how they train, you probably see a lot of people doing a lot of things right, and a lot of people doing a lot of things wrong. So what are some of the main points that you could you know, tell people watching this interview that they can take home and that they can apply to their own training and to their own life?
First, understand that this is not gymnastics or broken down gymnastics. Very, very important. Two, my tip would be to study movement in all living things. Three, start where you are with what you have, doing what you can. What do I mean by that? If you don't have a pull-up bar at your disposal, the floor is always there. Start doing basic push-ups. With those basic push-ups, start to feel what your strengths is and your weaknesses are. How do you do that with a basic push-up? You can do a push-up and pause at the top or pause at the middle, and you feel where your body lacks that strength. That's what we call that isometrically. So you're building up strength in your tendons, your ligaments, and your joints. Very, very, very important. Because the strength building in your tendons, ligaments, and joints is going to get you ready for those more dynamic or explosive moves. If you do those moves too soon, you're creating a recipe for disaster.
Which happens quite frequently.
Which is basically it's a quiet secret or a dirty secret in the so-called bar community, because you have people doing things that they can't really teach others. And because people are only imitating what they see, they're tearing their rotator cuffs up, they're tearing their elbows up, they're tearing their wrists up, because people are following the model of no pain, no gain, as opposed to letting the body move with its natural wisdom. The body has wisdom. The body has rights, you see? And that just goes to show, when you get up and move, someone might say, oh, I kind of tweaked my knee. Pain is a sign to let you know to stop doing what you're doing. You see? It's a sign to say, maybe I was out of alignment when I did that. So once you start to listen to your body and work with your body, it'll talk back to you, you see? So very, very key. So that's what we teach in bartenders, teaching people about the inner workings of themselves and their environments through natural movements. So,
great. How would you classify the impact that this type of sports had on your community, and you know, what you've seen around the world, compared to maybe many other hype and sports that are very successful, but maybe do not impact people and do not encourage them to really maybe think about their life, think about their goals the way that this sport maybe does?
This is, in my humble opinion, this is much more than a sport. It's science, it's math, it's sociology, it's history, and we basically consider ourselves modern day superheroes. Why? Because we're actually still hands-on in the community. We actually do really teach in schools. We actually do really go into the prison complex and show people that the strongest man is not the man that's in prison. The strongest man is the man who is taking care of his family. The strongest man is the man who can get up and hold down that 9 to 5 and not give in to the images that the media is pushing down our throats. Unfortunately, what happens is because there's certain powers that be that want to see people separate, that it keeps people in these stereotype compartments. One of the reasons why Giant wanted me to come to these different World Cup events was to prove the continuity of community. Community is not just the people in your area code or the people in your neighborhood. The community is worldwide. And that's what we're proving now through this explosion that happened via YouTube. The community is like-minded people doing things to uplift each other in a way that's beneficial, that will show the youth and show the world at large that there's much more to us than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and we can see that this is what's happening right now in all different countries.
It's literally changing the world, one rep at a time.
Okay. One last question. There's a lot of people, a lot of guys who are already exercising most of the time in the gyms, and they see people doing calisthenics, and they say, oh, that's easy, or I can do that, or that's not useful. Like a lot of people say, I want to build muscle, so this is not going to help me. I need big weights.
Right.
What's one tip or one exercise that you can recommend to people to maybe, not drop their weights because they want to do that? That's a great way to exercise. But maybe to open their mind to different types of training that are challenging, also for those who mainly have the focus on aesthetics and want to look good more than anything else.
Well, I think the name says it all. Bartenders. The pull-up is the grandfather of all back exercises. And it's also one of the most functional things that you can do as a human being. Pull yourself up. Now, to be able to do a pull-up with a smile on your face in 3 different planes of motion, the frontal plane, the sagittal plane, the transverse plane, pedal your legs at the same time, look different ways, that's what transcends it into an art form. And no matter what sports you play, from football to basketball to soccer to tennis to swimming to the game of life, the one thing you have to constantly move is what? Your body. So to be able to move your body gracefully and naturally is the essence of what Bartender's natural movement system is. So I would challenge anyone who thinks that bodyweight exercises are too easy to just try to do a pull-up with a smile on your face while you're breathing and counting and doing your ABCs. Or try to do a dip with a smile on your face. Do 100 push-ups with a smile on your face. And that's the challenge, because the smile shows what? That you have control over your breathing. So the thing is, ultimately, to get people to move and to have fun moving. Fundamental, functional fitness.
Right. It's not only about fun, what you do, but also how you do it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, that was very insightful. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
The t-shirt says it, mind up.
Yes.
Not only in sports, but in life. Embrace other ideas, because if you are open-minded, it can only benefit you and your future progress.
That's it.
Some last words, Dr. G?
My
for
last
people
word,
in Europe?
For the people in Europe, people all over the world, whoever sees this, love yourself first and most. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And then do your best to teach somebody that's younger than you. Mind up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Her college roommate was Coretta Scott King, so she's always interactive with the community. This particular year, she did an event. Hassan and some of the bartenders were performing at the show. When I saw what he was doing, I was like, that's the same thing I've been seeing in my mind. Somebody using their body in a way, all natural movements, and just using the body in a way to where it was basically art. And I said, wow. So after he finished, I went up to him, I said, brother, I can explain every move you're doing, why you're doing it, what muscle it works, how it works, and the benefit of it. And he said, no, you can't, that's incredible. So I said, you were doing this, I ran the list down. He said, what about this person? I said, he was doing this. So he was impressed with my ability to share that information. He said, do you want to be a part of the family? And that was 9 years ago. And since then, we've this movement has gone all over the world 3 times. I'm here with you now.
Okay. So 9 years ago, when you were able to explain all those moves and how it worked? Where did you have it?
It's a system. So this is a system created by Hassan Yassin, aka Giant, the founder, people know him as the Bar Father, and I'm the one who's been given the task of putting it into words.
Nice. How did you get connected with the Bartendaz? What made you join the team?
About 9 years ago, I met Giant at Mount Morris Park. And my Aunt Frances, so I have to salute her, she was doing a show in the park. Every year she did a show for Martin Luther King's anniversary.
Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Dennis from Bartendaz Workout and I'm here with Dr. Goodbody, aka Dr. G from the Bartendaz. We're here in Fredrikstad in Norway, where he just held a seminar for all the people who were interested in the topic. And he's one of those people of Bartendaz that maybe not everyone knows because he's not every time in the videos showing off, but someone that you can really learn a lot from. And so I'll just give you the word, Dr. G. Please introduce yourself and tell people
Appreciate that.
What made you the person that you are today.
First, I want to say peace to the world. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. G. The G stands for good body. The G stands for genius. The G stands for Dr. G Tai Chi, also aka Professor Pyramid. And basically what I do is I provide the scientific link for Bartendaz's natural movement system. It is a science, it is a system. A lot of times people are confused because they see the videos on YouTube and they think that it's just people doing tricks. So my job is to explain how and why